So, I guess we'll jump right into it because this isn't real podcast. It will be inserted into real podcast anyway, so we don't have to really make introductions because we'll do that on real podcast. Sound good?
Sound good.
Okay. I'm a little angry about, I read today that Nintendo is going to start charging for internet play. Did you hear about this yet?
No.
But only on, I guess, on certain titles. So, what's it going to be? It's probably going to be Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. Because what other fucking games do they have that you're going to want to play online?
Is it per game, or is it
It's like per title they'll decide. I'm completely speculating. I read like 2 seconds about the thing on, I guess, joystick or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's fucking retarded. Like, why say that your shit's going to be free for like 2 years and then, first of all, not have any games for like 2 years? And then, I mean, what's it going to be? It's going to be fucking... well, Smash Brothers comes out next week, so if they pull that kind of shit on us last minute like that... Well, I mean, you don't even have a Wii, so what the fuck do you care? But,
I don't.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll buy one.
I wouldn't bother, honestly, because they're pieces of shit. And I guess you can attest to this, that I was, up until about 6 months ago, the biggest fucking Nintendo jerk-off that there is on the planet.
Yep, he has
And
tattoos to prove it.
Yes, exactly. Zelda 2 tattoos. And what else?
Anybody with a Triforce tattoo is a freaking Zelda.
I have another
nerd.
one. Let me find it. I got another fucking Nintendo tattoo. Oh, I had the Nintendo logo, but I covered that up with a Zelda tattoo because it came out real shitty. But anyway, yeah, if they pull that shit last minute and like say, Smash Brothers is out next week, but you got to pay to play online. Fuck you, Nintendo. You're a bunch of scumbags.
I mean, I understand like the whole subscription model and stuff. I understand that they're trying to make, it costs money to run games over some sort of network or whatever.
Right, but you can't say it's free. Like for, I don't know, what did they say, about 6 months before the system came out, and then for, they haven't said shit about anything because they haven't had games to play online, and then now that finally something's coming out, they're going to be like, oh, well, now we're going to charge, it's pay per play or play per pay. I forget what it's fucking called, but
I mean, why don't they just make it like a yearly fee that covers everything, kind of like an Xbox Live account or something, where it's like $50
no, they
and you get it for a year.
Do anything because they said it's going to be free.
Well,
if you're going to go back on your word, you got to do it before the fucking system launches.
Or
stick to your fucking guns and make everything free. But yeah, so I guess I'm guessing it's not going to happen with Smash Brothers because that would be too cruel. But Mario Kart is probably a while away, even though it's supposed. I think they said April or some shit. It's supposed to launch.
It seems like Nintendo's like courting kind of the casual gamer
segment. They definitely
are
now. They said fuck you to all the people that have supported us through the years when nobody gave a shit about our systems. And the hardcore gamers were the only people buying, of course, only their games, and that's why other third parties never made games on their systems, because nobody would buy them. They made the best games in the world. Now they make the shittiest games in the world, and most of them aren't really games. They're all mini games that suck because that fucking controller doesn't work. It always like loses connection. Maybe it's just me and I'm retarded and I have the thing set up wrong, but I'll be playing Metroid or whatever, and it'll say, please readjust your remote to, get the fucking pointer line back up with the sensor bar or whatever. And they threw that system together in like 10 seconds and we're like, well, it's different. Everything else we tried never worked, so hopefully this will. And you know why? That they didn't even like think about this system? Because they didn't have a game for it. Like a original game. And they still don't, do they? What do they have? I don't know. The last thing I bought was Mario Galaxy, and it sucked ass. And I don't care what anybody says. It's boring. The levels are way too quick. And It's no Mario 64, and Mario 64 is like one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah, I concur with that. It's a great game.
Everybody should. There's nothing wrong with it, except for a little bit of camera control issues. But that's, 12 years ago. Let's not get into that right now.
Well, I mean, I'll give Nintendo points for innovativeness. I mean, like,
what did they innovate?
Well, the motion-controlled controller.
Bullshit.
The
it doesn't work.
Well, all right.
If it worked, I'd say, yeah, it's awesome, but it doesn't work.
I don't know. It seems to work enough for most people. I mean, people are pretty crazy about it.
Metroid is actually very smooth controlling it, even though I played like 2 hours of it. That's probably the only game that like really seems like, you know what, maybe they can do something good with this thing. But again, that was 6 months ago or whatever the fuck it came out, and
I mean, I get the whole motion-controlled thing. It makes a lot of sense for sports titles and stuff like that. Like, if you're playing baseball and you have to swing the bat, okay, I get it. Yeah, like or bowling or whatever, like the Wii Sports. I mean, it worked well enough and stuff, and I can definitely see it. But I mean, like, I don't know, like just some games, it doesn't translate well into a control scheme. Like, I played this. I forget what the game is called. It's like an off-road racing game or whatever with trucks or whatever.
Excite Truck. That's the greatest game in the world.
Nah, I did not like.
I didn't like it for like.
I just didn't like having to twist the controller, like to steer. Like
once you get used, go back and play. I wish I still had it. I got rid of it a little while ago. But
yeah, I wasn't crazy about that whole thing.
It's really, really fucking good. I can't even like compare it to anything, I guess, because the control. It's not like you turn left, like, and it doesn't control like 1-to-1. It'll take a second to like. And I don't really know how to explain it. It's like it'll seem when you first start that the controls are fucked up, and they might be. I don't know, but they I guess they hit it kind of well because it's kind of like a finesse thing. Like once you get used to it and you kind of like you slowly turn it. I don't know. It's just really good. You should definitely give it another try.
Maybe I'll give it another shot, but yeah.
I'll get it again eventually if it's in a bargain bin or some shit, because I'm not paying $50. I'm sure it's still $50 because Nintendo's crazy with their prices and keeping them the same price forever. Smash Brothers was $50 for probably like 2 years, I think, on the GameCube. But yeah, I don't even know. Like, are you excited for Smash Brothers at all? For whenever the hell that's coming out?
Honestly, I don't. I've never even played Smash Brothers. Any Smash Brothers? No? Nothing.
Really?
So everyone tells me that it's like the best game ever, the best franchise ever. But I'm
not going to say it's the best franchise, but it's probably the best fighting game. If it, not real fighting game. I think Street Fighter 2 probably has the honors for best fighting game.
Street Fighter 2 is pretty good.
It's very fun. I don't know. I don't get these newfangled Soul Calibers. I had that for a while, and I don't know. I just don't get it.
I was never a big fan of Soul Calibur. Tobal I liked a lot.
Yeah, that looked neat, but I don't know. They're very like mechanical, right? Like it's like tap square, shit like that.
Exactly.
I don't like that. I like the
combos
smooth.
And stuff.
Yeah, well, I like the combos. Or I guess, does Street Fighter even have combos? No, I guess not.
Yeah, it had like the Hadouken move and.
Is that
yeah?
It's just a special move, isn't it?
Yeah, but you had to like push down and forward.
Oh yeah,
you had to roll rock the controller down and then to the forward.
I guess I'm
hit
retarded.
The button. Yeah, you are retarded.
Yes. But yeah, Smash Brothers is awesome. I guess I should be really excited for this new one. I don't really know enough about it except that the one you don't know anything about the other ones, but in Smash Brothers for GameCube there was a like one player kind of like adventure, side-scrolling adventure, and you can pick any of the characters and go through like it's the same level for every character, I think. But yeah, you go through a whole level like it's like a Super Mario Brothers type game, and you fight someone at the end like a fighting game. It's neat, but apparently like that's like a lot more fleshed out in this new one, and like the levels are apparently huge. That's a beautiful thing.
It's a Wii exclusive, I'm assuming.
Of course, yeah, it's made by Nintendo. But yeah, getting back to the Wii being a piece of shit, I just really wish they would have again gone with what the other what the competition was doing with like making a nice system that had a bunch of frills and nice graphics. Not worse than the GameCube graphics, if that was possible. You know what? Maybe even the same graphics, just high resolution, would have been acceptable. But they just really screwed. And the jerk-offs will say something like, "Yeah, but they must be doing something right because look how much money they're making." No, because America is retarded, and I guess the rest of the world too, for buying the thing, because they see stupid commercials and they see little cunts waving 80-year-old cunts on the TV waving the remote around.
You have to. One thing I don't think Nintendo is really taking into account is that a lot of this kind of Wii stuff is kind of fad mentality, So like
I'm sure they did take it into account. That's why they're not putting out good games.
Well, that's the thing though. Like they're courting kind of to the masses, and they're making a ton of money on it right now. But the masses are typically fickle, and they're going to get bored of it eventually, and then they're left back with just the core hardcore gamers at one point, and now they've lost them all because they forgot about them.
And they probably won't lose a lot, just because being a reformed hardcore Nintendo fan, anything they do, I would fucking argue with people that it was the best thing, even if it was the stupidest move ever. The whole, and I don't even know why I'm getting all worked up about internet play. I'm not gonna play it. I don't care to play Johnny Ching Chong in Japan. Smash Brothers, because I don't know him. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care about playing the white trash down the street for me. I don't know them. I don't know why I'd want. And you can't. Oh well, I'll get into that in a second.
Well, you could still play with your friends though.
But who out of all of our friends owns video games besides me and you?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're gonna have to wait till they.
Because we're old. That's the problem.
Yeah, but even if we weren't, Justin was.
No, I've got a lot of buddies that play games. Want me to play games with them? Yeah, sure. I mean, my buddy Dave is always asking me to play Call of Duty 4, which I can't afford.
Yeah, but you just bought $5 $20 dog shit games.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Why don't you just save up your pennies and buy one good game?
Yeah, I want to have I'd rather have 3 good games that are, or 3 great games even that are, just a little bit old, they've been out for a while, like Call of Duty 2, arguably the best World War II shooter for any console system ever. $20, that's great, it was an excellent game at the time it was released. It's still an excellent game, it's just cheaper. What else? I'm drawing a blank here.
Well, that's good that you're drawing a blank.
PGR3, another great game. I got Platinum Series, Greatest Hits, $20. It's another great game, and
well, that's good when good games go down to budget prices. But
I mean, I'm not wasting money on just shit that I'm never going to play.
What was the one game you said you bought that didn't sound appealing?
I bought Lost Planet,
that game sucks. And I played 3 seconds of a demo on it's PS3 or whatever.
What? I don't know what happened. We were talking a little bit about this yesterday. Japanese game companies used to be at the pinnacle of they knew how to make great games.
Yeah, well, that was Super Nintendo days and Nintendo days. They don't.
I mean, it seems like with the new systems, it's all like the American companies or the British companies that are really putting out the great titles now.
Everything has a walkthrough in it, and you have to sit through that bullshit for a half an hour, and that drains the fucking fun out of being able. Do you remember throwing in a game and being able to jump right into it? Yeah, and how much fun that is. You don't get that anymore because you always have to sit through something.
Well,
unless if it's a Xbox Live Arcade downloadable title. Most of them don't have too much explanation. I'm going to stop right now for 1 second just because I don't know if you're watching this thing, but it says the remaining time is 25 seconds. I think it's going to cut us off.
Oh. Okay.
I guess we're going to have to figure out how we can make this go longer. And then 13 seconds, fuck.
Well, we should probably check the levels anyway, so.
Yeah, tune back in next time when I complain about Nintendo some more. Thank you, goodbye.